What's going on, guys? Sdotbell MMA here. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Sherdog and the UFC have released their new pound-for-pound list. So I wanted to give you guys my pound-for-pound list. So what I'm going to do now, first, is show you guys theirs. It's going to pop up right here. You guys are going to see the Sherdog list and the UFC list. And then tell me what you guys think of that. And then I'm going to give you guys my pound-for-pound list, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go person by person for my pound for pound list, one by one. And then I'll also give you guys my honorable mention from my 15 to 11. And then also I'll give you guys my pound for pound women's list. All right. So let's hop right into the list. First, number 10, Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo defeated Demetrius Johnson, which is literally probably one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. Watching that fight, I thought that TJ won, but Henry did what he needed to do. He got the dub, he got the nod, and now he's about to fight TJ. If he can beat TJ, that will shoot him up the pound-for-pound list. He's such a strong wrestler. He's got an Olympic wrestling background. He's really worked on his striking, his kickboxing. He's got like more of this kind of karate style. He's got some big wins. And so that's why Henry Cejudo is number 10 on my pound-for-pound list. Number 9, Tony El Cucuy Ferguson. I mentioned him in one of my other videos. I call him the ultimate button smasher. Tony Ferguson is a monster. I mean, he really is El Cucuy. This guy is on a 13-fight winning streak. He's got one of the most unique styles. He actually incorporates a little bit of capoeira, which I think is awesome because I'm a capoeirista, so I love that aspect of it too. But he rolls out of certain stuff, and he's doing Granby rolls, and he's just got a wild style. He keeps walking forward, and he makes every match a bloody hell of a match. And that's what makes, to me, Tony Ferguson one of the scariest guys in one of the most deadly divisions. They call the 155-pound division Murderer's Row because it's literally, there are so many good fighters. Honestly, it's the best division in the UFC. You think about it, Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Kevin Lee. In my list, I believe that Tony Ferguson is one of the only guys who is in the top 10 who does not have a title. But the thing is, he's such a skilled fighter. He's fantastic when it comes to just really having amazing conditioning, continuing to push forward. And that's why Tony Ferguson is number 9 on my pound for pound. Number 8 on my pound for pound list is Robert Whittaker. Legitimately, he is at the top of actually a very, very tough division, and he's managed to, hold that spot, partly because he's only fought really one guy who he's had to really work at that with, which was Yoel Romero, who I believe is actually, if he can get another title shot, is really still up there in that pound for pound list. But Robert Whittaker, he's a fantastic, karate background when it comes to his striking. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. His wrestling defense is awesome. He's had 2 amazing wars with Yoel Romero. And this dude is really, now that he's healthy, he's going to get up against Kelvin Gastelum. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Robert Whittaker is going to actually pull that one out. And hopefully he can move himself up that pound-for-pound ranking. What I'm really looking forward to, if he can maintain his spot and keep his title, is him versus Israel Adesanya in the middleweight division. So, again, number 8, Robert Whittaker. Number 7, Amanda the Lioness Nunes. After what she did to Cyborg, you cannot tell me this is not the greatest woman fighter ever. Ever. I mean, when you think of fighters that have had huge impacts in terms of the women's division, you think of Chris Cyborg, you think of Miesha Tate, you think of, I almost forgot her name, you think of Ronda Rousey. And guess what? Amanda Nunes beat all of those women. You know who else you think of? Valentina Shevchenko. And guess what? Amanda beat her too. And Valentina is actually one of my favorite fighters. But to think that Amanda Nunes was able to beat all these fantastic female fighters is just, it's hard to fathom. She knocked out Ronda Rousey. She knocked out Miesha Tate. She knocked out Cyborg in 51 seconds. She was truly a beast, man. And apparently she's got bricks for hands because she can throw the fuck down. And that's why she is number 7 on my pound for pound list, because she's a beast. Number 6 on my pound for pound list is TJ Dillashaw. This man knocked out Cody Garbrandt twice. He beat Renan Barão twice. I actually think he won the fight against Dominic Cruz, but again, up for debate. But this guy is literally probably one of the, if not the greatest bantamweight of all time. He's a fantastic fighter. He's got Nana kickboxing. His Bang Muay Thai is tight, as he would say, because of the help of Dwayne Ludwig. You know, the drama that he went through with Team Alpha Male, but it ended up working out in the end. We see how skilled of a fighter he is. One thing that Chael Sonnen talks about is he's probably one of the best, if not the best, MMA wrestlers out there because of his ability to set things up, which I actually very much agree with. He's a fantastic wrestler, fantastic wrestling defense. He's good on the ground, and we're going to find out really how good he is when it comes to his wrestling when he goes up against Henry Cejudo, and I think that's going to push him up the list a little bit more. We will see. It's going to be exciting to watch, but again, number 6, TJ Dillashaw. Number 5 on my list, the Eagle, Khabib Nurmagomedov. This dude still undefeated, 27-0. He took out one of my favorite fighters, Conor McGregor, manhandled him, choked him out, made him tap out. He's beat, the top brass of the 155-pound division. This guy has his own style. He's that Sambo-style wrestler. He's relentless. He's going to take these guys down. He's going to beat them down. He's going to make them quit. He's got wins against Michael Johnson, wins against Edson Barbosa, and he really had the hard road coming up in the 155-pound division, which is, again, is Murderer's Row, and he's now atop that division. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. The next fight everybody really wants to see is him against another guy who I just mentioned on my list, Tony Ferguson. El Cucuy versus Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to be a fantastic fight. I'm very excited to see it just because of Tony's crazy style of wrestling defense and funk style wrestling and Khabib's just bulldozing style. I would love to see that fight. I think Khabib will still get the nod, but it's still going to be a wonderful fight to watch. But that number 5 on my list, the Eagle, Khabib. Number 4 on my list of pound-for-pound fighters is Max Holloway. You guys cannot tell me Max Holloway looked otherworldly in his fight against Brian Ortega. Dude, I thought, this is my thing. I've been watching Brian Ortega come up in the jiu-jitsu world and, via YouTube and just seeing a lot of his stuff and in his early MMA career. So I was like really rooting for him. He was undefeated. But Max Holloway is just too damn good. He's just so good. His size in that division, his ability to get down to that weight. We know he's struggled with sometimes the health issues of weight cuts. But one thing Max hasn't done is not made weight, So he's a professional. He's a consummate professional, but he's a fantastic fighter. He's beat Jose Aldo. Yes, but way back when he lost to Conor McGregor, but this is a completely different Max. I actually think this Max would give Conor a lot of problems and likely beat him because he's good all around. He's a strong guy. He's got that pressing style, and I feel like a lot of the top guys have that ability to just push the pace and give pressure. And Max is one of those guys, man. His cardio is otherworldly. And I find that him and Tony Ferguson are basically the same person. Like, they look alike. They got the crazy similar back tattoos. And they love pushing the pace and getting bloody and just putting in work. And Max Holloway is he's a beast, man. He's really surprised me. That one thing I have to say is I'm never going to doubt Max Holloway again when it comes to his fights, man, because that dude is a beast. So that's why he's number 4 on my pound-for-pound list. Number 3 on my pound-for-pound list, and one of my favorite fighters of all time, one of my favorite guys to watch because he's legitimately a beast, Tyron, the Chosen One, Woodley. I can't state enough how good he is as a fighter, how intelligent he is, his fight IQ, his ability to just have amazing timing, his power, his patience as a fighter. When you talk about the guys that he's beaten, the ways that he's beaten them, and the thing is, people come up with this stigma that's a false stigma, in my opinion, that he's a boring fighter. And the thing is there's a difference between being boring and being technical. And one thing is, as powerful and athletic and explosive as Tyron is, he is also very, very technical, which is why he was able to fight the fight he fought against Stephen Thompson, Wonder Boy, and it was why he was able to fight the fight he fought against Damian Maia, is because when it comes to guys that are complete specialists, there's a certain way to fight them. There's a right way and a wrong way. And the way he fought Stephen Thompson is the way to beat Stephen Thompson. Darren Till kind of took a page out of his book when he won that fight, even though, that could be arguable. Speaking of Darren Till, what did he do to the guy that everybody thought was this fantastic giant striker that was going to be the one that was going to take down Tyron Woodley? He knocked his ass down. He grounded and pounded his ass, and he choked him out. He just showed really what a consummate professional and champion he really is. And he did it with the blankest and dullest of stares on his face. And this dude is a complete beast. Again, one of my favorite fighters, and he's number 3 on my pound-for-pound list. We're going to see what happens against Kamaru. He might end up moving up. It's very possible, but Tyron Woodley, number 3. Number 2 on my pound-for-pound list, Daniel DC Cormier. What can I say? DC is my favorite fighter of all time. I'm fairly new to MMA. I've only recently gotten to MMA in the past few years. I'm not, ashamed of that. As I grew as someone who started to love martial arts and fighting and MMA more and more, I started to get deeper and deeper into it, which is why now I have a page for it. DC was one of the guys I always loved to watch. And he's really become one of my favorite fighters. 1, because he's a consummate professional. 2, because he's just an all-around stand-up guy. He's a family man, kind of somebody to look up to, especially for African Americans. A black guy who has aspirations to be an MMA fighter myself. Him and Tyron Woodley are 2 guys that I definitely look to because they are just the epitome of, a high standard. He's a fantastic commentator, which just gives you a look into his fight IQ. And then when it comes to the way he is in the octagon, the man is a beast. He's faced all the toughest guys. He's beat all those guys except for one, and I will get to that in a little bit. Jon Jones, yes. But DC has continually risen to the occasion. He was the one who was the second double champ, and he did it, the double champ, against the baddest man in the world at the time, Stipe Miocic. And then he defended that title. This guy has continued to make history. And one thing about DC that I really enjoy and really love is that he's kind of had the story where he's reached these really high levels, and then he's kind of fallen short when it comes to being in that one spot. When it comes to winning the title and losing to Jon Jones, or even in his college wrestling career and losing to Cael Sanderson, who was, the greatest college wrestler of all time. So the thing is, with DC, this guy basically, had these situations where he really fell short. But when it came time to do it really, really big, this guy showed his ass, and he whooped Volkan Ozdemir's ass, and then he whooped Stipe Miocic's ass, then he whooped Derek Lewis's ass, became the double champ, defended the titles. That's why, to me, DC is the man, and to me, why he's number 2 on my pound-for-pound list. And the only reason he's not number 1 is because of this on my pound-for-pound list. And I both love and hate to say this, but it can no longer be denied, especially with the fact that his test came back clean. Jon Jones is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC and in MMA right now. I mean, there's no other way to deny it. You can say even at his worst, he's the best fighter in the world. You look at the way he fought Alexander Gustafsson, and you wouldn't even say that was necessarily an impressive performance, but it was like he won all the rounds. He won both rounds, and then he proceeded to take him down and pound him out, and he got the dub. Even when he came back against Ovince St. Preux to win the title, he won every round, he won every aspect of the fight, but he didn't look great. And the thing is, when you look like less than you are and you're still able to dominate another fighter, that I think that's a true testament to how good you are. And I would say that Jon Jones, in terms of his fight IQ, is probably the smartest fighter, one of the smartest fighters, the most creative fighters you've ever seen. Again, he's able to put together his fantastic athleticism with his amazing fight IQ, his ability to game plan with his team. He's with the right team that is able to help him continue to get better. He's beat everybody he's needed to beat in their prime, in his prime. Again, him and DC have had a rivalry, which is, you know, one of the all-time great ones. I would love to see that third fight. My hope is that DC would win that, but I doubt it because, again, Jon Jones is just that good. I've been a fan of him because, again, he's such a great fighter, but also I would say there's a lot of myself that I see in Jon, especially with the fucking up. I'm admittedly a fuck up too, but this guy he's a complete and total fuck up sometimes. But he's gotten chance after chance to redeem himself, and hopefully this is the time where he's gonna really explode and get his shit together. Because again, he's still got room to grow. He's not even in his prime yet, man. He's to the level of a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan when it comes to his dominance and his his athleticism and his skillfulness in MMA. And so that's my number one guy on my pound for pound list. Jon Jones is another way to say it. I don't think there's any argument about that. But yeah, number one, Jon Jones. All right, guys, so that's my pound for pound list. Tell me what you guys think. If you think I'm bullshit, if you think I'm wrong, if you agree with me, let me know. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you guys my honorable mention. All right, so my 11 to 15, I'm going to keep it short. Just going to list them down and give quick little bits about them. And then I'm also going to give you guys my top female pound for pound list. All right? All right, guys. For my pound for pound, 15 to 11, guys that I feel like should be mentioned even though they're not in that top 10 right now. Number 15, Stipe Miocic, still one of the baddest men on the planet. He's a beast. Hopefully he gets another crack at getting his title back against DC if DC doesn't end up fighting Jon Jones. Number 14, this guy's really moved up the list for me. Iaquinta, what he was able to do against Kevin Lee, what he was able to do even though he lost the fight against Khabib, I thought really just showed how good of a fighter Iaquinta is. Can't deny him anymore. If Kevin Lee had won, I think Kevin Lee would be in this spot because I thought Kevin Lee had what it took to beat him, but Al's just raging out. Iaquinta, he's a monster. So that's number 14. Number 13, Conor McGregor. He is still up there. He's still a fantastic fighter. Even though he got his ass whooped against Khabib, he did manage to do what a lot of people haven't been able to do, which is defend the takedowns very, very well. I feel like, again, a lot of his fame and how he's been living now has affected him, which is why he didn't do as well as he could have. But Conor's still definitely up there, and hopefully he gets a fight where he can show that. Number 12 on that list, Kamaru Usman. There's a guy that can beat Tyron Woodley, it's probably Kamaru Usman. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's still got a little bit of ways to go. I think Tyron's still got a lot left. He's still in his prime. He's still a fantastic athlete. But Kamaru Usman is a beast. Loads better than Colby Covington. And you see it in the way that he's defeated the same guys. He's been even more dominant when it comes to how he's gotten these wins. So Kamaru Usman is my number 12 guy. Number 11, this guy is a complete monster, Yoel Romero. I think once we see Yoel back in there, gets another good fight. I want to see him fight Paulo Costa. That's going to be such a good fight for the most jacked guy in the UFC. Paulo versus Yoel. But Yoel Romero, he still got it. The guy's 40+ years old, but he's still a fantastic athlete. My number 11 guy. So that's my honorable mention for 11 to 15. Tell me what you guys think of that. All right? All right, guys. My 1 through 5 for the ladies. Let me go start with 5. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Joanna not champion, according to Chael Sonnen. That's probably one of my favorite renditions of her name. Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She's still a great fighter. Actually, recently, if you guys haven't seen yet, check it out. She had a boob job, and they're looking good. But she's still, that aside, she is still a great fighter. She fought a good fight against Valentina. Valentina was just too good. But she's still up there as one of the top female fighters. That's why she's number 5 on my female pound for pound list. Number 4 on that list, the girl who beat her to take her title away for the first time, Thug Rose Namajunas. Again, Rose fought 2 amazing fights against Joanna. I think this is Rose's time when she's healthy and she's back in that octagon. She's going to show she's supposed to fight Andrade coming up. And so we'll see how that fight goes. I think Rose is going to win that one. She's going to maintain. She's going to defend her title. And she's going to continue her reign at the strawweight division. All right? Then, number 3 on that list. She was the queen that could not be taken down until now. Cris Cyborg. Now, don't get it twisted. Cris is still one of the best female fighters up there. It's just that she found out who the best female fighter out there was. Cris Cyborg is a beast. She beat anyone who comes her way. She beat Holly Holm. She's knocked out some of these broads. She's taken some of these other chicks out. There's nobody that really wants to fight her, and the one that did, that was truly ready for it, was able to beat her, but Cyborg's still up there. Number 2 on that list, Valentina Shevchenko. She is now the flyweight division champion. Shout out to her. She is probably my favorite female fighter. I'm in love with her. I have the biggest crush on her. And I just love her skill set, her kickboxing, her takedowns, her jiu-jitsu is all just A1 when you watch her go against. And she hits and she kicks and she fights with a tenacity that is scary. She's the one who I feel like really brought Amanda to her brink, even though she wasn't really supposed to be in that division. Like, yes, Amanda has other losses, but those 2 fights were losses. I think Amanda, probably one of them was a loss Amanda should have had, because they were super close fights, and that just is a testament to Valentina's skill. And so that's why she's number 2 on my list. And number 1, the lioness, Amanda Nunes. What she did against Cyborg was just otherworldly, man. She laid it on her. She landed that first shot, dropped Cyborg. I was like, I was screaming when I was watching that fight. And that's why she's number 1 on the pound for pound female list, because she is the best pound for pound female fighter right now, and probably of all time, after what she's been able to accomplish. First female double champ. She's awesome. All right. So that's my pound for pound list for the ladies. All right, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Again, Sdotbell MMA, and I'm out. Peace.